What's up, guys? PsyStarcraft here with another StarCraft 2 commentary, and I apologize for not having a video last night. Every once in a while you just find an occasion that you're just not in the mood to do any casting, and that's just kind of how I was feeling last night. Not that I'm losing any steam for StarCraft 2, because I actually played a lot today. I even did some live casting. I just, time went by really fast, and then I realized, oh my god, it's like 2 a.m. and I haven't done a commentary. I'm going to go to sleep instead, and that's what I did, so... Got another commentary for you today, however. This is going to be against iEchoic. I have played him before in the past, and he's actually done quite well in a lot of Craft Cup, or in a lot of Gosu coaching tournaments. So he's going to be the blue Terran in the top position, and I'm going to be the green Zerg in the western position on Lost Temple. So we've got another ZVT. I know I've been giving you a lot of ZVTs lately, but, there just aren't really too many interesting matchups so far. God, why are you so loud with that bag of chips, man? Seriously. Shut up! Shut up! Fuck, man. I apologize for that. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but he's just like the loudest person in the world with a bag of chips. He feels the need to crinkle them up, like when he reaches his hand in. You know how a lot of times you try to not touch the edge of the bag just out of courtesy for other people? He doesn't give a shit. He has no chip etiquette whatsoever. He just digs right in, like just grabs it and just like purposely brushes the side of the bag and just creates all sorts of fucking noise. But anyway, iEchoic is part of a team that I'm actually probably going to be a part of. So if I do end up joining the team, I will definitely give them a shout out and let you guys know, what the team is doing and when they're doing it and that sort of thing. But the reason I want to find a team is because it's just an amazing way to feed off of each other, just to practice, to get better. You're not really getting too much feedback in a ladder game compared to a game when you're playing against friends or people you know, where you can just kind of give feedback afterwards. So that's going to be awesome. Plus, Clan Wars, the elimination format, I just think is awesome. And we do have a couple of specs. My Life is one of them, and he's just talking about 9 racks. So yeah, iEchoic and him played last game. But that's probably all the news you guys want to hear. So we will get on to the game. I did go with a 15 pool, 14 gas. I know that we are cross positions right now. I actually did a little bit of a... Are you serious, man? That is so loud. Gas steal. I'm going to go shut my door. Okay, this is intolerable. Intolerable. You are intolerable! Intolerable! For those of you who are wondering, I do live with a deaf roommate. He could not hear a word I was saying, and that's why he crinkles the bag so loudly, because he can't tell exactly how loud he is crinkling it. Alright, so, yeah, apparently iEchoic actually has a very nice ZVT build, but my simple little gas steal foiled him, so I thought that was pretty cool. Just standard play from me that you've seen 1,000 times, pulling 2 drones off gas after that initial speed, putting down that expansion once I get the money, and I'm also going to be getting a second queen here pretty soon. Make sure when you're around 22 out of 26, while your larva is being produced by that queen, that you get another overlord, because that's a common mistake where a Zerg player will style lock themselves. And man, just continuing to be so annoying with this extractor. I actually take my eye away from it for a second. I don't see that second Reaper come in, and he does kill that drone. So unfortunately, that's about 20 minerals or so lost because I didn't cancel that. But not too detrimental. I shouldn't be too worried about that. Lane speed is up. Gonna push up there. And just from that little push right there, coming up the ramp, I saw the expansion. I saw the 2 Raxes. And it really does alter your play a lot when you see that kind of stuff. And that's why I'm throwing down that Roach one, because he could pump out Reapers from those Raxes. He could pump out Marauders, Marines. But the only thing that would be extremely damaging, if I'm not ready for it, would be Reapers, which is why I am throwing up that Roach Warren. Link's continuing to go back and forth just to keep tabs on his number of Reapers. And my hatchery is now up. Where's that second queen? You know what? I didn't actually... Oh, there she is. There's that bitch. Bitch. Inject bitch. 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 Don't turn your back to me. Don't turn your back to me, you bitch. God, what a whore. Zerglings out here. I'm so angry right now. You bitch. God, if you weren't so sexy. Ah, there we go. There's that inject. Huge turn on right there. Going a lair, And that layer is going to be for that quick roach speed. Just because he's got 3 Reapers, this left me to assume that he would be producing more. He's getting tech labs on his 2 factories, on his 2 barracks, and 2 factories. So quite the deviation from a normal Rax Reaper play. So pretty interesting. I like this. I like how he is switching it up a little bit. 2 factories after 3 barracks. As far as I know, I am a Zerg player, but as far as I know, that's pretty rare. 2 reactors on both of those. He might just go for like a swapperoo. You know, maybe put the barracks on those reactors and factories on the tech labs. If we look at the unit tab, right now I'm not too worried. I've got 4 roaches just to protect against any Reapers or Hellion play. I've got a nicely positioned spine. This area back here is kind of vulnerable, so I have to keep an eye out for any Hellions going that way. And I also have a couple Lings scouting out the tower, roach out there as well. So he's just now putting up his expansion, and I'm doing pretty well in the harvester count so far. So as a Terran player, when you let the Zerg just kind of macro up as much as they want, which is kind of what I'm doing here, I'm just freely, you know, training some drones. Hey, I'll put down my next gas and yada yada yada. Then it puts them in a really secure position. I can even probably take my 3rd right now. Don't want to try to take this. We are in very close positions. So yeah, I'm kind of surprised I didn't receive any harassment in this game. And yeah, look at that. He's doing exactly what I thought he might. Switching those Raxes, putting 2 of them on the reactors. So lots of Marines coming out here. And probably some tanks. Yeah, there's some tanks. So he's going to be pretty well fortified here with lots of Marines, lots of tanks. He's going to be just fine if I do choose to get mutas, because he's got 5, he can train 5 Marines at once. And oh, splooging on that poor factory. He doesn't really have the Marine force to just like run in here and snipe my overseer. So I'm getting perfect scouting. Never a bad idea. Once you do hit that layer, spend that first 100 gas on getting that overseer. Scouting is crucial, and just being able to stop production, it always helps. I mean, look at the difference. These 2 probably start at exactly the same time, and this tank is like nowhere near being done. So overseers are another one of those very subtle killers. You don't really notice how much damage they're doing until you do watch a replay. Man, that was a long string of talking right there, wasn't it? 58 harvesters, very nice. A lot of people are saying 30 at each base is good. I think 30 is a little bit too much. You don't necessarily need 24 drones in a single field of minerals. So you can see they're still kind of bouncing around. I'd say about 22 or so. 20 to 22 is a good number, I think. But 58, man, if I'm going to transfer, that's a great number as well. Not a lot going on here. Looks like he did halt the SCV production. I'm not sure about that. And he's putting down turrets without knowledge of what I actually have. So I'm not actually getting any mutas, yet he's throwing down turrets. You know, maybe he'd be better off just spending a scan on my main or on my natural. Of course, a lot of Zerg players will hide their tech. What you can do is just like spew some Overlord creep and just like stick a Spire down right there. And no matter how many times they scan you, they won't be able to find it. But it looks like I am choosing to get some Infestors and just heavy roaches right now. If we look at the production tab, I'm getting Burrow, and I'm also getting Tunneling Claws. So very cool. Heavy roach play coming in here. Just now putting down that Evolution Chamber. Would like to see that +1 from that Evo Chamber a little bit faster. Oh, and a perfect timing on that Contaminate. Look at that. That Thor is just about to be out, and he has to wait 30 more seconds. So really cool. It's not too often you actually see an opponent get riled up about a Contaminate on his building. So that's pretty funny to see. A couple Thors are out, so he's got a nice mixed up army here. Maybe a couple more tanks would be ideal, just because my Roach army, man, he just scanned that. I was actually burrowed and he scanned it. And I cannot stress enough how important Infestors are in any mid to late game Zerg composition. You don't need like 5 or 6 of them, just 1 or 2 Infestors. Just a couple simple fungal growths, and they can just add so much to your army composition. It's amazing, especially with Ultralisks. And my life anticipating the first fight. I don't know what he thinks is going to happen. At this point, I couldn't tell if my army was completely countered by iEchoics, or if iEchoics, you know, completely countered mine. But I was wishing for the best here. Look at the production. Now getting my Spire, +1 armor, and continuing to get drones. I think I'm right at my 3rd expansion right here. So even though there hasn't been too much action so far, you can tell there's a lot of decision making going on. I'm choosing to go with the heavy roaches with the burrow. And he's going from the kind of a mech infantry play. This is a very solid armor, or a very solid army. Maybe a little bit too light on the tanks, and actually a Zerg composition that would do pretty well against this would just be Hydras and Roaches. I do have Roaches, as you can see. And let's look at my hotkeys for a moment. Let me just pause it real fast. So, obviously, confronting this force head-on is bad, especially if he gets me in like a little choke right here. So what I'm doing is I'm splitting my forces. I've got, let's see, can I count today? 22 Roaches in the western spot. I've got 20 Roaches and, you know, some Lings in the southern spot. And what I'm expecting him to do, I've got a Ling at the tower, is come in here. I've got some nice creep spread at least. And then when he comes here, I'm going to engage with my South Roaches and my West Roaches. And that's going to allow me twice the space to work with them. And the fungal growth as well will be in good position. I even have 2 fungal growths on that single infestor. Not sure if I actually needed to pause that or not. Yeah, now he is moving in. He sees that link, but that's all he sees. Notice this tower cannot quite see these Roaches. I moved them back a little bit. He might have spotted those. I have a feeling he didn't, though. He might have seen that infestor, however. So I've got my third base. It's now running solely off gas, pretty much. I've said it many times before. Zerg third bases are all about the gas, people. You just want gas, 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 gas. So my Spire is up. No mutas in the field yet. After seeing his composition, I knew that mutas wouldn't be too effective. I mean, yes, you can magic box the Thors. Maybe I could send in some Banelings to kill the Marines, but he's just got so much damn anti-air. Throwing in a Raven, I love that a lot just because he knows I have that Roach Burrow. And here we go, gonna slow it down, sending in both my armies simultaneously, getting a nice round, beautiful fungal growth, catching almost all the infantry and splooging another one on those Thors. And every single Roach here is attacking, save for a couple up here. So this is a perfect positioning on my part. I'm on the creep, I got the fungal growths in, this infestor needs to get away. And I'm able to clean up this Terran army. I do even have +1 armor on the Roaches. iEchoic neglecting his upgrades a little bit. And that's just one of the downsides to having such a diverse army, is that it's hard to upgrade everything at once. So destroying that first attack here, probably a bit of a sigh moment, I'll admit it. A bit of a sigh moment, not pushing in, at least just to test the water. I don't think I could have actually won. He's got some more Marines forming out, nicely positioned tank, and 2 more coming out as well. But, yeah, you know, just send in a couple Roaches, see what he has. So, I do win the first big battle. I'm pooping creep on every single expansion that he could probably take. This one and this one are probably most likely. It's very risky for a Terran player with their limited mobility to take anything like this or this down here. And I'm happy just taking here. I've got the map control right here. My Roaches are just kind of chilling out, pumping a lot of mutas. I'm going Hive Tech, getting some more upgrades for my Roaches and my mutas. And meanwhile, he's preparing a 3rd orbital command. And okay, he's building it right here. So he's either planning to lift off and go to this expansion or to this expansion. And it's kind of strange that he does go with the orbital command. I don't know if he was expecting the rocks to be broken here and he could just land it or what. But once he lands it in this spot, it's going to be in such a dangerous position. I would have made it a planetary fortress personally. But I think at this point, he's struggling to keep up on the macro. Does he see my extra base? No, he doesn't see that base. Even throwing it down another base. I am maxed out, 200 out of 200, just stockpiling the minerals and the gas. And, you know, I see exactly what he's doing, but he can't really do too much about it. No more Thors. A lot of tanks, however. Looks like I am going to push in 1 fungal growth from that infestor. That infestor is a hero, man. 6 freaking kills. Nice fungal growth, but my Roaches are just kind of being held at bay by all of his infantry, and his tanks will be able to mop me up. So I'm going to run back, cut my losses, but look at this, 20 more Roaches coming out, a Greater Spire coming out, and this is just what you need to do in every big battle. I think, as opposed to microing your forces in a huge battle like that, the most important thing you need to do is have the state of mind to press 4, press S, and then just press R, 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 R. And what that's going to do, if you're using my hotkeys, is select every single hatchery, select your larva, and then just make tons and tons of Roaches, because Zerg armies, when they're at 200, the best thing you can do in any situation is just be ready to what's the word? Remake your army, I guess is the word. Yeah. But if we look at the units lost, I've actually lost more. in resources, but that's pretty normal. Looks like I am tier 3. My Greater Spire is now complete, running off 8 geysers now. So using this expansion almost only for gas. This one's not too well saturated either. A lot of gas on that. He is now taking this 3rd expansion. But man, I am getting Broodlords. I love Broodlords, man. I just love Broodlords more than Ultralisks now, I think. Even though Ultralisks are really good with fungal growth, Broodlords are just like the Terran killer. He has not seen my Greater Spire. He doesn't even know I have a freaking Spire, although he did see my Muto, so he probably does. But all he has is 1 starport. He could swap that with the reactor and pump out Vikings, but by then it'd probably be too late. He's got no mobility at this point. I've got both the bases in the southern position, preparing a 5th base in the eastern position. Creep spread could be a lot better, but I'm smoothly, very smoothly transitioning into Broodlords. I was feeling a little bit of pressure at this point just because he was inching towards my base, but every time he unsieges these tanks, he feels very unsafe. And I guess I was just playing off that. I was hoping that that would allow me enough time to get these Broodlords. Now 6 Broodlords, and I've seen a lot of players misuse Broodlords a lot. What they'll do is they'll just kind of like, you know, I'll just send my Broodlords in here and attack this town, or I'll send my Broodlords alone and go do something else with my army. But Broodlords work best with your army. They are so incredibly strong, so when he does advance in close with these Marines, I'm not going to leave them out to dry. I'm going to send in all of my roaches. I'm going to send in my Infestor and Fungal Growth. And the cool thing about Broodlings against these tanks is that as I rain down the terror with these Broodlords, these tanks are doing so much splash damage to his own force. And if we look at the units lost, he is now soaring up over me. Over 2,000 minerals worth of units lost than me. And again, 21 roaches instantly being made. I lost a lot there, but I'm still 200 out of 200. I'm making more corruptors, getting more upgrades. You might as well just spend everything you can when you're running off 4 base, almost 5 base. So I'm in great position right now. I do have those Broodlords. Do they have any upgrades? They're just 1-0. 1-1 roaches. And this is just a very deadly combination. Once Zerg hits tier 3, the units become extremely cost effective. Roaches doing a little bit of burrowing to regen their health. And here it is, again, running off the gas on these extra bases. Don't really need the minerals too much. And now I'm going to make a push with these Broodlords, keeping my roaches close by just to support them if they might need it. And here we go. Here are the Vikings. This is about as fast as he could respond. Yeah, he did exactly that. Dropped down a starport, swapped it to the reactor, and put down 2 more starports. But luckily I had some Corruptors to support them. Vikings do okay against Corruptors. It's a pretty even matchup, but just he just didn't really have enough to fund more than a couple of Vikings. And there you guys have it. Very macro-driven game. Unit choices were a big deal in this game. And just notice how effective that one Infestor was, man. That was just incredible how much that Infestor did. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned a lot. Not a huge action-packed game, but I think there was a lot of small details in here that could help you with your Zerg game. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And when you go for bags of chips, please, please be courteous to other people. Bye-bye.